Indeed, India's Akshay Dongre is following this story and gives us more details on it now. Akshay, as Trump administration is set to carry out this sweeping immigration review, which countries are being considered by the United States to be the ones of concern?
Well, there are 19 countries as far as the review is concerned. One of them is obviously Afghanistan, as you have seen Donald Trump, making strong statements about the shooting that has taken place. However, what has been missing from the mainstream is the fact that Lakanwal, the person who has shot and killed Holmes guard and critically injured the other one, was a part of a CIA-backed team that was operating in Afghanistan, aiding the U.S. Army and the other agencies that were operating in Afghanistan against Taliban, for a long period of time. And also, these were the people that were considered most vulnerable after the return of Taliban and the pullout of the U.S. armed forces from there. Many of these people have reportedly, shown signs of psychological disorders. But they have been because of the kind of operations that they have been part of, but the tremendous stress that have been there on these units that have been operating alongside the CIA, and that was the sole reason why these people were allowed in the U.S. as part of the asylum granting program as well under the Biden administration, as they pulled out from Afghanistan, because these people were at risk of being persecuted by the return of the Taliban regime. The issue is not just illegal immigration. This issue is, quite far from it as far as these people are concerned who have been granted asylum, especially those who have operated alongside the intelligence as well as the security agencies of the U.S. as when they were part of the occupying force in the country. These were the people who aided them. Many a times there have been incidents of persecution of the local people. There have been allegations of war crimes against the U.S. forces in Afghanistan as well. And these people, the locals who have been aiding them, have been under tremendous stress, not only from their own communities but from the threat to their families as well. So, besides the checks on illegal immigrants, the U.S. government also is ought to, do a comprehensive psychological analysis, assessment of these people who have come back, especially after operating. It's not just these people who have showed, these kind of violent attacks under psychological trauma like PTSD, like other kind of stress that they have been into as part of their jobs. There have been other, there have been several incidents of U.S. armed forces personnel also, showing similar kind of signs of post-traumatic stress disorders, as well as them committing sort of violent crimes after coming back to the U.S. There have been several documented cases. So it seems that besides the crackdown on the illegal immigrants, the government is supposed to also do a comprehensive, psychological analysis, assessment of these people who have come back to ensure that these kind of incidents don't happen again. However, that has not made a lot of clamor as the action that is being taken solely in the name of illegal immigrants, with President himself calling this accused as a monster, as an animal as well, in several sense, blaming the entire incident on the Biden administration for allowing these people in. But there were, not a lot of option for the administration,
Okay.
but to either welcome them or leave them there at the mercy of the changing of regime by Taliban.
Okay, let's talk a little bit, Akshay, about American politics here, because do you think President Donald Trump's deployment of National Guard to several U.S. cities will now draw more criticism from political circles, because this kind of National Guard deployment already faces a round of legal challenges, or would it give Trump further reason to continue the National Guard deployment in several U.S. cities?
Well, from what it seems, your second, your second sort of statement that you have given about what will happen is truer, is more closer to the truth, because the kind of incident that has taken place is going to give further teeth to the U.S. administration, especially Donald Trump administration, to push for further deployment of National Guard, stating a security threat to vital installations of security across the U.S. Now they can come out and say that, see, we warned you that deployment of National Guard is important because our country is at threat from these kind of people coming in. They are violent, they are armed because of the First Amendment. They can procure armaments from across the country and carry out these kind of attacks. So anything that is stopping them from hurting more security establishment as well as civilians is going to be the answer is going to be for the deployment of troops in cities across the US. So it seems that the second statement is closer to the truth.
Okay, thank you, Akshay. Very unfortunate indeed that these troops,
Absolutely.
National Guard members, were just inducted into the service 24 hours before this shooting. Unfortunate indeed. Thank you very much for joining us at the moment.